Friends, in this session, we will discuss what do we mean by ambiguous grammars. We will see what are unambiguous grammars. We will see how to identify ambiguous and unambiguous grammars. We will see the definitions of these two grammars, and we will see an example of this grammar. So, let us begin with the example. Let's consider this grammar. G is equal to VTEP is the starting symbol. E and I are the variables. A, B, C, plus sign, multiplication sign, opening and closing parentheses are the set of terminals, and the productions are E produces E plus E produces E multiplied by E produces E in parentheses, E produces I, and I produces A or B or C. Now this grammar will generate some simple arithmetic expressions if you try deriving some string, and therefore what we can say that this letter or symbol E correspond to expressions, I correspond to integers, and A, B, C correspond to actual numbers, some numbers, and plus and multiplication are the operators, arithmetic operators for addition and multiplication respectively. So what we will do, we will derive a simple string like A plus B multiplied by C using this grammar, and we will write down multiple derivations for this particular string, and then we will discuss what do we mean by ambiguous grammars. So let's start with the derivation of this particular string. Now we need a plus sign, we need a multiplication sign. I need to begin with the starting symbol. So it will be the start, we will do like this: E produces E plus E. Then after plus we need a multiplication sign. Okay, what we will do, we will follow leftmost derivation. So the leftmost variable is I. So this E will replace with I. Okay, applying E produces I, and this I will be replaced with A. So what I will do, I will use certain shortcut here. We will replace with I plus E, then finally this I we will replace with A plus E, then this will become A plus this E I will replace with E multiplied by E. Then each of the E can be replaced with I, so we will get A plus I multiplied by E. Then we will get A plus I multiplied by I. Then we will get A plus this I we will replace with B. So B multiplied by I, and finally we will get A plus B multiplied by C. So we are following a leftmost derivation, and we get the string A plus B multiplied by C. Let us draw the derivation tree for this particular derivation. So initially we started with E. It was E produces E plus E. Okay. Then we replace this E with I, and then we replace this I with A. Later on we replace this E with E multiplied by E. Okay, this E will be replaced with I, this I will be replaced with B. Similarly, this second E will be replaced with I, and the I will be replaced with C. If you take the yield of this particular derivation tree, it will be A plus B multiplied by C. And what we did, we followed a leftmost derivation. So I will call it as case 1, a leftmost derivation. Okay. Now let's do another thing. We will follow a rightmost derivation for the same string, and we will begin again with the starting production E produces E plus E, and we will expand it. So E produces E plus E. Now rightmost derivation, so I will replace this E with I, and finally we will replace that I with C. Okay. Now here this E we will replace with, we needed to replace this E with E multiplied by E. Now we replace this rightmost E with I, so it will be E multiplied by I, and finally it will be E plus E multiplied by C. Now we will replace this rightmost variable E with I, it will be E plus I multiplied by C, E plus B multiplied by C. Finally, it will be I plus B multiplied by C, and ultimately we will get A plus B multiplied by C. Again we get the same string A plus B multiplied by C, and again draw the derivation tree for this RMD. It will be E. Initially we applied E plus E. Okay. Then we expanded this E with E multiplied by E. So we will go for E multiplied by E. then we converted this e to I to c, so it will be I and then c. Then we converted this e to I to b, so this e will get converted to I, will get converted to b, and finally we converted this e to I and I to a, so e to I and I to a. Now if you observe these two derivation trees, they are not different. Okay, it is e plus e, again e plus e, I, e multiplied by e, a, I, b and c. So these two derivation trees are exactly same, even though the derivations are different. And now let us do one more derivation, wherein we will start with the production e produces e multiplied by e. Now here in both the cases we started with e plus e, here we will start with e multiplied by e, and we need a plus sign to the left hand side of the multiplication. So we will expand this e with e plus e multiplied by e, and then we will follow again a leftmost derivation, for example. So this e will be replaced with I plus e multiplied by e, then a plus e multiplied by e, then a plus I multiplied by e, a plus b multiplied by e, then a plus b multiplied by I, and finally a plus b multiplied by c. Again we get the same terminal string a plus b multiplied by c in all the cases. Let us draw the derivation tree here also. So here it is e produces e multiplied by e, we will follow the derivation, then because it is a leftmost derivation, we will replace this e with I and this I with a, then we replace this, we replace this e with e plus e, then we replace this e with I with a, and we replace this e with I and with b. Okay, and similarly we convert this e to the variable c. Now what is the important observation here? We are taking three different derivations. The terminal string which is obtained in the three derivations is the same, it is a plus b multiplied by c in all the cases. Here we begin with e plus e, here also we begin with e plus e. Now in the third derivation we begin with e multiplied by e. So starting production in the third derivation is different as compared to the previous two. And what is the observation? That even though these two derivations LMD and RMD look different, obviously they are different looking derivations because the order in which we are changing the variables is different. Here we will replace the leftmost variable, here we will replace the rightmost variable. So these two derivations look different, but if you observe the structure of these two derivations, then structure is same, because for both these derivations we are obtaining the same derivation tree. And in the third case the derivation is different, at the same time the derivation tree is also different. Okay, so what we can say that the first two derivations are actually different but structurally same, and they are different not because of they are structurally different, they are different only because of the order in which we are replacing the variables. And in the third case the third derivation is different also and is structurally different also, and structurally different because the derivation tree that we are obtaining in the third case is entirely different. So as I mentioned in the last session, even though the order of replacement may be different, the structure of that particular derivation will be given by the derivation tree. And therefore what I will say, because the derivation trees are same, I will say that these two derivations are structurally different. So what is the important point? That for a given string multiple derivations may be possible. Okay, that is the first conclusion that we can draw from this example. Conclusion is very straightforward. For a given string different derivations may be possible. Okay, so derivation 1, derivation 2, derivation 3. And second conclusion that we can see is for a given string different derivation trees may be possible. So let us call these derivations as derivation 1, derivation 2, derivation 3, and let us call this tree as derivation tree 1, derivation tree 2 and derivation tree 3. So multiple derivations are possible, at the same time multiple derivation trees are also possible. Now when I say multiple derivation trees are possible, it also means that multiple derivations are possible. Okay, But when I say multiple derivations are possible, it does not necessarily mean multiple derivation trees are possible. So what is the important point here? Multiple trees mean multiple derivations. Multiple trees, these are not multiple trees, okay, these are same trees. Multiple trees mean multiple derivations, that is point number 1. However, multiple derivations do not necessarily mean multiple trees. Okay, so from multiple trees you can conclude multiple derivations. If you get multiple derivation trees, it means you also get multiple derivations. Reverse is not true. If you get multiple derivations, it does not necessarily mean that you get multiple derivation trees. Here derivations are different, trees are same, derivations are different. Here trees are different, derivations are different, trees are different. Now trees are different, therefore derivations will be different, it's a correct argument. But derivations are different, therefore trees will be different is an incorrect argument. So at this stage, let us be very clear with these conclusions. We are drawing two conclusions, actually 4 number of conclusions. Conclusion number 1, for a given string multiple derivations are possible, that is conclusion number 1. Conclusion number 2, for a given string multiple derivation trees may be possible. Conclusion number 3, multiple trees mean multiple derivations, and conclusion number 4, multiple derivations do not necessarily mean multiple derivation trees. If you get multiple derivation trees, if you get different derivation trees, you will compulsorily get different derivations also. But if you get different derivations, you may get same tree or you may get different trees also. So multiple trees, different trees imply different derivations. However, different derivations don't imply different derivation trees. Or what we can say, that different derivations can have same derivation tree, but different derivation trees cannot have same derivations. So these are the 4 conclusions that we should be very clear with. And now on the basis of this we can define ambiguous grammar. So a grammar is called as an ambiguous grammar if there exists a string like a plus b multiplied by c for which multiple derivation trees are possible. Okay, or a string for which different derivation trees are possible. So see, we are defining ambiguous grammar not on the basis of different derivations. We are defining ambiguous grammar on the basis of different derivation trees, because different derivations do not mean different structures. However, different derivation trees mean different structures, and different structures mean different derivations. So let us be very clear with the definition of ambiguous grammar. A grammar will be called as an ambiguous grammar if there is at least one string for which multiple derivation trees are possible. Okay, that is the definition of ambiguous grammar. At least one W such that W has multiple derivation trees. At least one word has different derivation trees, it will be called as an ambiguous grammar. So what will be the definition of unambiguous grammar? All the words belonging to that particular grammar, or all the words which can be generated with the help of that grammar, have unique derivation tree. So all the words having unique derivation tree, the grammar will be called as unambiguous. At least one word having multiple derivation trees, the grammar will be called as ambiguous grammar. Okay, now what we will do, we will try to give one more definition of ambiguous grammar. Right now we have defined ambiguous grammar in terms of multiple derivation trees or in terms of different derivation trees. Now what we will do, here we followed a leftmost derivation. From the leftmost derivation we draw a derivation tree, then we derived rightmost derivation, and from the rightmost derivation we draw a derivation tree. Now what we are going to do, we will follow this flow. See, right now what is the flow? Derivation, a derivation tree, then again a derivation and again a derivation tree. But right now what we will do, we will convert a LMD into a derivation tree. Okay, it's an LMD, we will convert it to a derivation tree, and then we will convert the same derivation tree into an LMD. Okay, so we will convert this derivation tree into an LMD. See, what do we get? Here, if you want to convert this tree into an LMD, what needs to be done? Initially, you need to begin with the root. It is E produces E plus E. So we will apply this production. E produces E plus E. Then we will apply this production. E produces I. Okay, sorry. It has to be like I plus E. Then we will apply this production. I produces A, and this will become A plus E. See what we are doing? We are converting the tree into an LMD. Okay, so now let's go to the second variable. We need to replace this variable with E multiplied by E. So next production will be A plus, expand this into E multiplied by E. Now we get this part of the tree. Okay, till this. Now the leftmost variable will be E. Now replace this E with I. So the next production to be applied will be E produces I. This will become A plus E, A plus I multiplied by E. Then we will get A plus B multiplied by E. Finally A plus B multiplied by I, and then A plus B multiplied by C. Now what is the important point? Even for a given derivation tree, unique LMD will be possible. Okay, if you try to convert a given derivation tree into an LMD, then the LMD will be unique. Okay, multiple LMD from one derivation tree are not possible. So every derivation tree will give you a unique leftmost derivation. Similarly, every derivation tree will give you a unique rightmost derivation. Okay, and you see, first of all we wrote the leftmost derivation, then we converted the derivation into a derivation tree, and then we converted the tree back into the leftmost derivation, and these two derivations are exactly same. So what is the conclusion that can be drawn? That from an LMD and RMD you get the same derivation tree, and from one derivation tree you will always get a unique LMD. Similarly, from a given derivation tree you will get a unique RMD, a unique rightmost derivation. So what is the important point? Whenever you get multiple trees, you get multiple LMD, you get multiple RMD. But whenever you get multiple derivations, it doesn't mean you get multiple derivation tree. So somewhere we need to start defining ambiguous grammars in terms of derivations. So we cannot say that a grammar with different derivations is called as ambiguous grammar. Okay, because our basic definition of ambiguous grammar will be a grammar with different derivation trees is called as ambiguous grammar, and therefore we cannot define ambiguous grammar as a grammar with different derivations, because different derivations don't mean different derivation trees. We want to focus on different derivation trees, and different derivations don't mean different derivation trees, but different LMD mean different derivation trees. Similarly, different RMD mean different derivation trees. See, these two are two different leftmost derivation. This is also a leftmost derivation, this is also a leftmost derivation. So the derivation tree for two different leftmost derivation cannot be same. Okay, so what are the conclusions now? Again I will summarize. For a given string, multiple derivations may be possible, multiple derivation trees may be possible, different derivations may give or may not give different derivation trees, but different derivation trees will always give different derivations. Similarly, different leftmost derivations mean different derivation trees, multiple LMD mean multiple trees. Similarly, multiple RMD mean multiple trees. Multiple trees means multiple LMD, and multiple trees mean multiple RMD, and therefore we get two more ways to define ambiguous grammar. A grammar in which at least one W has multiple LMD, a grammar in which at least one string has multiple leftmost derivations will be called as ambiguous grammar. Similarly, if a particular string has multiple LMD, it will also have multiple RMD. Okay, so second definition will be a grammar in which at least one word has multiple rightmost derivation will be called as an ambiguous grammar. So let's be very clear with this. We are putting three different derivations for ambiguous grammar. Number one, at least one string has multiple derivation trees. Number two, at least one string has multiple LMD, and number three, at least one string has multiple RMD. These are all the definitions of ambiguous grammar. Correspondingly, we will get the definitions of unambiguous grammar. And what will be the definition? Every string has unique derivation tree, unambiguous grammar. Every string has unique leftmost derivation, unambiguous grammar. And third, every string has unique rightmost derivation, again that particular grammar will be called as unambiguous grammar. Now, after defining ambiguous grammars and unambiguous grammars in terms of derivation tree, LMD and RMD, let's look at these examples with an additional perspective. There is one more way to look at the ambiguity in the example, and what is that? What we will do, we will replace these A, B and C with actual values, and for that what we will do, we will replace this A with 2, B with 3 and C with 4 everywhere. So this will become 2, 3, 4, and the value here will be, it is not 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4, it is 3 multiplied by 4. First of all you need to do the multiplication and then you need to do the addition. So 3 multiplied by 4 will be equal to 12 and 12 plus 2 will be equal to 14. So the value in this case comes out to be equal to 14. Let's go to the second case. Here also it will be 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4, again 3 multiplied by 4 is 12, plus 2 will be equal to 14. However, if you go to the third tree, it is 2 plus 3, that is 5, and 5 multiplied by 4 comes out to be equal to 20. So what is the observation here? Because the structure are same, because the trees are same, the value will also be same. Here, because the structure is different, because the tree is different, the value is also different. Now why this is happening? Why do we get different values in different cases? So let's try to see. In this example, we are doing, I will parenthesize this A plus B multiplied by C. Now in this example, first we are doing addition or first we are doing multiplication. So it is first multiplication and then addition, and therefore the parenthesization will be like this. Inner parenthesis will be that of multiplication and outer parenthesis will be that of addition. So we add product to A. So it is first multiplication then addition. Here also it is first multiplication, 3 multiplied by 4, and then the addition. However, if you observe the last derivation tree, it is first addition. So A plus B, and the addition will be multiplied with C. So it is sum followed by product, and you can see that the parenthesization in case 1 and the parenthesization in case 2 is same, result is also same, tree is also same. So all these things are very similar. Okay, same structure, same tree, same LMD, same RMD, same parenthesization, same value. Here different structures, different trees, different LMD, different RMD, different parenthesization, different values. Okay, so even though the strings are same, the values are different, and that is why such things, whether A plus B multiplied by C, whether 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4 will be equal to 14 or will be equal to 20, that is not clear, and this absence of clarity is nothing but the presence of ambiguity. So something is clear, it is unambiguous, it is not ambiguous. Something is unclear, it is ambiguous. Okay, and finally what I would like to establish here, this change of value is occurring because we have got plus and multiply at the same precedence level. Okay, So here I mean to say, we don't know the actual precedence levels of plus and multiply. The grammar does not talk anything about the precedence. To be very precise, the grammar does not talk anything about the precedence. Okay, and therefore which operation to be applied first is not clear from the grammar, and that's why you get different results. Okay, so what I mean to say, you get different trees, you get different LMD, you get different RMD, you get different structures, you get different values, because we are applying different precedences. Precedence itself is not clear, that is why ambiguity is present in this particular grammar. However, if you think mathematically, the usual algebra that we follow, the Bodmer's rule, the usual precedence, then precedence of multiplication will be higher as compared to the precedence of addition. Therefore, these two cases are correct structures, are correct parenthesizations. However, the third case is incorrect parenthesization. This is incorrect mathematics. Mathematically, this particular structure is wrong. So, let's not mix this with precedence and mathematics too much. I just wanted to present an additional angle to look at the ambiguity which is present in the grammar. However, right now you should just be very clear with the definition of ambiguous grammar. At least one string has multiple derivation trees, it will be called as ambiguous grammar. All the strings having same derivation trees, unique derivation trees, will be called as unambiguous grammar. Okay, and now what we will do, we will look at some equivalent statements or equivalent definitions of ambiguous grammar and unambiguous grammar. So I hope you are very clear with this. Let's move ahead. We will see certain equivalent statements. So we will write down two different sets of statements. Okay, here first statement we will define ambiguous grammars, and in the second set we will define unambiguous grammars. Okay, now S1, statement number 1, at least one string has multiple derivation trees. Second statement will be at least one string has multiple leftmost derivations, and third statement to be made with at least one string has multiple rightmost derivations. Okay, so all these three statements S1, S2 and S3 are equivalent. All of them are the definitions of ambiguous grammar. And now let's write down corresponding statements or corresponding definitions for unambiguous grammar. So I will begin with S4. Now here, at least one string has multiple trees. Its complement will be all strings have at least one will be complemented as all, and multiple derivation trees will be complemented as unique derivation tree. So its complement or corresponding definition of the unambiguous grammar will be all strings have unique derivation tree. Or what we can say, we can write down another S4, that no string has multiple derivation trees. Similarly, when we say at least one W has multiple LMDs, its complement will be, corresponding definition of unambiguous grammar will be all W have unique leftmost derivation. Or we can say another statement that we can make is no W has multiple leftmost derivations, and corresponding definition of unambiguous grammar in terms of RMD will be again similar. All the strings have unique rightmost derivation, or we can say no W has multiple rightmost derivations. Okay, and therefore what we can say that these statements S1, S2 and S3 are equivalent, all of them mean the same thing, all of them define ambiguous grammars, therefore S1 equal to S2 equal to S3, and similarly here all the statements are equivalent and they define unambiguous grammar, so S3 equal to S5 equal to S6. And what does that mean? Multiple derivation trees imply multiple LMD and multiple LMD imply multiple RMD. Multiple derivation tree if and only if multiple LMD, multiple LMD if and only if multiple RMD. Here unique derivation tree if and only if unique LMD, unique LMD if and only if unique RMD. So all these are equivalent, okay, and these are also equivalent. So again important thing will be to note down that multiple derivation tree means multiple LMD, multiple derivation tree mean multiple LMD and multiple LMD means multiple RMD. Here unique derivation tree means unique LMD and unique LMD means unique RMD. So we have got three different definitions of ambiguous grammar and three different definitions of unambiguous grammar using tree, using LMD and using RMD. So just to summarize, I will summarize once again. A string may have multiple derivations, a string may have multiple derivation trees, okay. Then different trees mean different derivations, different derivations do not necessarily mean different trees. However, different LMD mean different tree and different RMD mean different tree, and a grammar in which at least one W has multiple derivations will be called as an ambiguous grammar, otherwise that particular grammar will be called as unambiguous grammar. So what I would like to say before concluding, whenever you want to show that a particular grammar is ambiguous, you need to come up with a string, at least one string. Even if you come up with one string which has got multiple derivations, that would suffice. It is not that all the strings must be having multiple derivations, no. For a grammar to be ambiguous, you need to come up with at least one string which has got multiple derivations, which has got multiple LMD or which has got multiple RMD. Okay, so that's it about the ambiguous grammar. Okay, one final important point here, all these definitions were the definitions of ambiguous grammar. We did not discuss anything at all about ambiguous language. Ambiguous languages and ambiguous grammars are different things. A grammar is ambiguous does not necessarily mean that the language is also ambiguous, okay. So don't mix ambiguity of grammar with ambiguity of language. Here in this session we discuss only and only ambiguous grammar. In the next session we will be discussing what do we mean by ambiguous language. Thank you.